everybody. Welcome to A Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's a big day for me. Since I'm Irish, I'm a Colbert, I'm a Tuck, I'm a Fee, I'm a Connolly, I'm a Tormey, I'm an O'Neill. In fact, I scored 100% on rotten potatoes. Because of the pandemic, St. Patrick's Day is very different this year. For instance, here in New York, they couldn't hold the normal parade. They just had a small one to keep the tradition technically alive. And to ensure no crowds would show up, organizers invited Bill de Blasio. The CDC is telling people to stay home this year because attending gatherings to celebrate St. Patrick's Day increases your risk of getting and spreading COVID-19. An even greater risk of spreading cartoonish stereotypes. Stay 6 feet away from me pot of gold. The CDC's warning really takes a shillelagh to all the beloved St. Paddy's Day traditions like green beer and shamrocks and those buttons that say, "Lick me, I'm Irish." And I'm sure these new warnings are going to be very effective because if there's one thing St. Patrick's Day is known for, it's responsible decisions. The CDC says the safest way to celebrate St. Patrick's Day this year is to gather virtually. So, heartfelt thanks to all the revelers tonight having their drunken fistfights on Zoom. Now, the White House got into St. Patrick's Day spirit today by dyeing the water in the White House fountain, finally delivering on Joe Biden's campaign promise of creating new green jobs. In the afternoon, Biden held a virtual meeting with Irish Taoiseach and man whose hair was driven out along with Ireland snakes, Micheál Martin. Now, his name kind of looks like Michael, but it's pronounced Micheál. It's just one of those weird Irish things, like how Scene is pronounced Sean, and Siobhan is pronounced Siobhan, and soda bread is considered food. Biden came dressed for the occasion, wearing a clump of shamrocks in his suit pocket. Either that or he's slowly turning into a chia prez. Of course, the reason we have a lot of Irish Americans is because over the centuries, Americans have come to this country from all over the world. And one group of Americans too often threatened by racism is Asian Americans. The most recent horrifying example of that threat just played out tragically in Atlanta, where 8 people, including 6 Asian women, were killed. And I see on the TV that police are reporting that the guy who admits he did it says it had nothing to do with race. But why should we believe him? He's a murderer. And the fact is, 6 Asian women are dead at a time when that community is already living under a cloud of fear. And in moments like this, I never know what to say other than that our hearts go out to everyone struck by this terrible tragedy. Because I don't have any answers, not immediately. The only answer that comes to mind is a simple but strangely difficult one these days. And that's not to hate each other, to recognize our common humanity, to acknowledge that we're a nation of immigrants. We might believe different things, we might not look the same, but we're all Americans. We share a common belief that all men are created equal, and it is that belief itself that makes people want to come here. In fact, recently there's been an increase of people arriving here, even before Joe Biden took office. And then after the inauguration, Biden ended the previous administration's migrant policy of immediately expelling teens and children. Now, with that rule lifted, there's been a further increase. In fact, the Department of Homeland Security expects the U.S. to reach a 20-year high in the number of migrants arriving at the southern border. But that's impossible. We built a wall. Mexico paid for a wall, big wall, beautiful wall. Nobody ever saw a wall quite like that wall. Was that all bull? And I'm being told that was all bull. Now, while the Biden administration's heart was in the right place, they did not apparently plan for this increase. As a result, right now, there are more than 4,000 migrant children in Border Patrol custody. Last night, President Biden sat down with ABC's George Stephanopoulos, who asked about the situation.
Do you have to say quite clearly, don't come?
Yes, I can say quite clearly, don't come, and what we're...
All right. But then we should probably change the poem on the Statue of Liberty to, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses. Wait, how much is a mass? That's a lot. How about just a huddled bunch or a huddled thruple? But Biden's de-invitation is temporary. Most of these unaccompanied kids have relatives in the United States, and the administration's goal is to reunite these kids with their families within a week. But they don't have that process in place yet. So Biden asks for the migrants' patience.
Don't leave your town or city or community. We're in the process of getting set up.
Red Rover, don't send migrants right over, Jack. How do you say Jack in Spanish? Jackamole? Come on. Wait, don't come on. So, Biden's going to do things differently, but it's not a quick fix. America's immigration policy has been a mess for decades. Obama tried to deal with it in his way. That wasn't great. The last guy tried to deal with it in his way, which wasn't great again. Now Biden's going to try this his way, but between the pandemic and the economy and the Capitol riot, he inherited quite a mess. When he walked into the White House, it looked like this. Stephanopoulos also asked Biden about something he said to Vladimir Putin.
You said you know he doesn't have a soul.
I did say that to him, yes. And his response was, we understand one another. I wasn't being a wise guy. I was alone with him in his office. I said, look in your eyes, and I don't think you have a soul. And looked back at me and said, we understand each other.
Wow. That is badass, Joe. That sounds like James Bond in a scene from Dr. No Malarkey. Biden's mistrust of Putin is about to come in handy because a new intelligence report says that Russia tried to help the ex-president in the 2020 election. Yes, Russia pitched in along with the ex-president's other allies, Fox News, My Pillows, institutional racism, and the United Federation of Terrible Uncles. Putin helping the ex-president in the last election is appalling, but not exactly a shocker. Which brings me to my new segment about the old administration. Exactly what you thought, but worse than you imagined. At this point, Putin's meddling our elections feels like old news. But it's not. It's new news. And in a new news clip released this morning, Stephanopoulos asked the president what he's going to do about the new news.
Director of National Intelligence came out with a report today saying that Vladimir Putin authorized operations during the election to denigrate you, support President Trump, undermine our elections, divide our society. What price must he pay?
He will pay a price. We had a long talk, he and I. I know him relatively well. And the conversation started off, I said, I know you and you know me. If I establish this occurred, then be prepared.
In other words,
Russia, if you're listening,
it's payback time.
And payback's a borscht. To test that Biden really knew Putin, Stephanopoulos gave him a pop quiz.
So you know Vladimir Putin. You think he's a killer?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Wow. That was easy. Do you have any idea how good it feels to have a president who acknowledges reality?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Finally, after 4 years of the old guy, we have a president who's going to stand up to dictators. Hey, Putin, you're a soulless killer. Kim Jong-un, what's with the hair, man? Use a Floby with your eyes closed? Zing! Hey, Duterte, more like Duterte, am I right? Hey, Erdogan, you might be from Turkey, but your goose is cooked. Hey, Mohammed bin Salman, you. Things are going to change, Buster, as soon as there's peace in the Middle East, so watch it. The report says Russia worked to push misleading or unsubstantiated allegations against President Biden to U.S. media organizations and tried to undermine public confidence in the electoral process and exacerbate socio-political divisions in the U.S. Oh, that must be nice for the ex-president to discover that he and his friend have all the same hobbies. I wonder if Putin also loves complaining about low-flow toilets. This disinformation campaign came right from the top. According to U.S. intelligence, Putin was aware of and probably directed the operation to hurt Biden and give the ex-president a boost. Now, all through the election, we were warned by the intelligence communities to be on guard against Putin, against Russia, using disinformation to help the former president and his administration. There was just one weak link in our defenses: the former president and his administration, because it turns out the Russian propaganda was openly embraced by the ex-president's allies. Dad, I heard you and your friends are openly embracing now. Can I get in on that? I'd settle for eye contact. Dad, do svidanya. Russian intelligence targeted Republicans using a go-between, Ukrainian parliament member and star of NYKGB Blue, Andriy Derchich, or something, met with Rudy Giuliani and other useful idiots and fed the misinformation about Joe Biden's family, which was then repeated by friends of the ex-president and friends of treason like GOP Representative Jim Jordan, Devin Nunes, and Fox host Sean Hannity. Thoughtful of them to make Putin's job easier. Okay, plan is to infiltrate American social media with carefully scripted material that insinuates... What's that? Devin Nunes is just going to go on Hannity and repeat it verbatim? Okay, weekend is clear. Who wants to come to the DACA and play Poison the Navalny? When asked about it, Jim Jordan denied any knowledge of the Russian smear campaign.
I never saw, never heard of, never was told about any type of abuse. If I had been, I would have dealt with it.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That was Jordan denying any knowledge of sexual abuse of college athletes when he was a wrestling coach. How'd that get in there? So why is this worse than you imagined? Because Jim Jordan and Devin Nunes and other stop the steal liars like Senator Ron Johnson were in our Capitol parroting the propaganda of our sworn enemy. That's like your high school's cheerleading squad chanting, U-G-L-Y, we ain't got no alibi, we're ugly, ooh, ooh, and clumsy, we suck. I could have made the squad. Now, you can't see that I'm doing a full split. I'm doing a full split. If it was a wider shot, you could see. Sure. Now, historically, when a member of any government works to advance the interests of a foreign adversary, there are grave consequences, often involving a grave. So the ex-president took guys like Jordan and Nunes, lined them up and got them right in the heart with medals of freedom. They got them for service to their country. Maybe one day it'll be America. We got a great show for you tonight. I'll be talking to Irvin Magic Johnson. But when we come back, I defend a female daytime talk show host who will not be censored. Stick around.